Check. Check 1, 2.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, looks like I got it. How's everybody doing, ladies and gentlemen? You have just stepped into a dimension of random geekness right here on the X Zone. And if you are watching me on Facebook, and they're not watching me on Facebook, hold on. Yeah, okay, they're watching me on Facebook now. I really should have put a title here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just put in the comments updates, show updates, show updates. Hello, Mr. Crossland. How you doing? Harry, hey, Angela and Rouge Rose are in the house. Hi. Tobias is in the house. I'm so glad that everybody is around. I'm trying to get more people to watch on YouTube, but because I'm trying to make something happen there. But most of you folks are on Facebook. But if you don't have, or if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. It's called HB Gibson's The X Zone. That's X Zone, zone spelled with an X. You pretty much, I'm quite sure you know the logo by now. You should. I'm looking at myself in this video screen, and I have never been more happier with my appearance. This does not look like a guy that's 50 at all, or going on 50, does it? All right, thank God. But anyway, the title is basically updates. Just letting everybody know like what's going on, what's up, what's down. A very dear friend of my love, Rouge Rose, Mr. Lou Calzone, was asking her, when was I going back on? When was I coming back on? When am I going to do another show? Well, here it is. But I need to let everybody know what's going on, because I don't want anybody to start like lagging off and then like start dropping off and then unsubscribing, because I don't want to waste anybody's time either. What's going on right now is I'm kind of slowing it down. I'm taking more time to take care of my health. All right. I can go into detail about how, I've, when you're in the South and you have any place in the world that you want to eat right at your fingertips, pretty much everything from Bojangles to Church's to KFC to Wendy's to the southern version of White Castle. And I don't care what nobody says. This southern version of White Castle is darn good. You just got to remember to put ketchup on it. The southern version of White Castle's Crystals. All these wonderful places to eat all over the place. McDonald's, Burger King, and all these other southern places in between, these restaurants in between that I have not tried yet. You're gonna pick up a few pounds. So that's what we're trying to do. Is I'm trying to lose this weight here, because I mean you get to the point where you start walking around and you start feeling things a little bit bigger than what they should be. That's what she said. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. That I'm taking care of my health. That's what's going on. So to all my YouTube viewers that are watching this video, if you're not watching this live, just please have patience with me. I'm going to try to do an episode of Monthly Blaster. I love talking Star Wars, and there's been some fantastic Star Wars news as of late. At the same time, there's some people that don't think that it's so fantastic. All these folks here with these, and I think I'm just going to just talk about it. These YouTubers, we're just going to talk about it. Let's talk about these Star Wars centered YouTubers. I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to start a war. A lot of these Star Wars YouTubers have a lot to say, all stemming from, I guess, The Force Awakens, because a lot of people didn't like The Force Awakens. I think I love watching The Force Awakens. It's a fun movie. It's a lot of fun. Did it kind of hurt me at the end? Yes. Yeah, it did. It did. Were there some things in The Force Awakens that kind of made me go, I probably would have done things another way. And J.J. Abrams did admit that he kind of missed the opportunity to have Leia hug Chewbacca after that incident happened. Han was killed by Kylo Ren. I think everybody knows that. So there are these YouTubers that always have something to say, something negative to say. And it started with The Force Awakens, but then it really hit everybody with The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi being a movie that was very, very divisive, split down the middle. I'm going to tell you how I feel about The Force, not The Force Awakens. I already basically said how I felt about The Force Awakens. I can watch The Force Awakens over and over and over again, but I'm still going to run into that same feeling with certain scenes. Let's just say that I guess I'm just going to have to tell the truth and shame the devil. I'm not really impressed with Kylo Ren as a villain. I'm not. I hate to say it that way, but he's the villain that we're handed. So I roll with it. I roll with it. Let's say, he did reach a certain level of evil when he did what he did with his father, when he killed Han Solo. Then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I wasn't crazy about you when you first took up that mask. Now I'm really not crazy about you, but for a whole other reason, because you just killed my boy, your dad, Han Solo. So, Rouge, what do you mean? What Han? Please tell me. All right. Oh, you're reacting to the fact that I wasn't impressed with Kylo Ren. I like Kylo Ren. I revisit that moment, and then when he started doing what he was doing in the movie, it made me kind of like him more as a villain, or rather dislike him more. However you want to say it. So, like in the middle of the film, I just wasn't really impressed with the beginning when he stopped that blaster bolt. I thought that was cool. I guess maybe as time went on, he became less impressive. And then when he took the mask off, then I was like, whoa, this is a young dude, And then then he started to lose me a little bit. But then when he faced his father and killed him, that redeemed him as a villain. First glance, impressed, then little less than impressed for a lot of the film, and then impressed again. So there you have it. I had kind of like a up and down thing with Kylo Ren. All right. But I have to admit, there was some points where I just was not impressed. But now. And then came The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, to me, is a watchable film. Do I understand the reason why people didn't like it? Of course. Oh, yeah, Rouge. He made me mad when he killed Han. I was like, yo, this guy's a son of a blankety blank. But I'm just saying, when I first saw the movie, I was impressed in the beginning, then a little less than impressed because he just, I don't know, he started to kind of lose me a little bit through the movie. But then he started to do things that impressed me again. But I have to admit that he kind of wore thin in the middle of just like Darth Vader. Darth Vader, I was scared of that dude through and through. I wasn't messing with no Vader, man. I did not want to be in the same room with Vader. Vader walks in the room, even to this day. If Darth Vader actually existed and he walked into this room, I'm pooping on myself, y'all, because I don't know what he's gonna do to me. So, okay, I'm pooping on myself because I don't know if he's gonna bring that floating torture droid. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Remember that torture droid? That's a scary. Imagine this little round black thing with lights on it making that noise, and it's got a hypodermic needle getting ready to stab you, and that's an Imperial torture droid. Vader was evil, but I guess that Kylo Ren was designed to be that way, to be a Vader wannabe, because he wanted to be like his grandfather. Anakin Skywalker was Kylo Ren's grandfather. Okay, so I guess we're looking at a kid who has powers, trying to be like granddad, but kind of like failing a little bit. But then he starts to take these risky moves, and that's what made him a villain. All right. Did I get the chance to see Joker? No, I didn't, Daryl. Not yet. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But let's go into The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering on YouTube, if you're wondering who I'm talking to right now, I am live on both YouTube and Facebook. So I'm talking to the people on Facebook right now. So let me see if there's anybody on YouTube at the moment. Nobody's on YouTube. Okay, that's all right. That's okay. Well, actually, there's one person watching. Is it me? Is it that one person that likes to put dislikes on all my videos? You look like a jackass, whoever you are, anyway. Because I see if there were 10 or 20 people that dislike, then I would feel like, okay, there's a bunch of people. But if this is this one dude that's going, bleh, show yourself, dude, or dudette, show yourself. That's all I got to say. Anyway, Jalmari, what's going on, man? Jalmari, it's long time, bro. Long time. Okay. Last Jedi. Very divisive movie. I can watch The Last Jedi. I can watch The Last Jedi and enjoy it for the movie that it is. Do I think that they missed an opportunity with Luke Skywalker? Yes. Did I wish that Luke was portrayed a little bit differently? Yes. Did I think that certain things were a bit forced? Pardon the pun, forced? Absolutely. But I'm not going to get into it. I'm not, because then you're going to think that I'm gender biased, and I am not. I'm totally not. Female heroes rock, but I just think that this was kind of a lot of it was kind of mushed in my face. Anyway, The Last Jedi. Very divisive movie. I understand the reason why people didn't like it. I completely do. I'm one of those Star Wars fans that, and I'm going to get into this. Let's talk about the fandom. Okay, Last Jedi, very divisive. A lot of people thought that The Force Awakens was a little bit too much like A New Hope. I see what they were talking about, but I looked at it as a completely different film. I think that Kylo Ren was trying so much to be like his grandfather, Darth Vader, that he wanted to do everything that he did, finish what he started. That's what he said. So everybody complaining about how The Force Awakens was so much like A New Hope, that's a lousy argument. And also you have to look at it like this: establish the familiar before you go off into a different direction, which is what The Last Jedi attempted to do, but it hurt a lot of people. So fandom, let's talk about it. Fandom, the Star Wars fandom. You have people out there that call themselves true Star Wars fans. And I'm not going to question whether you are a true fan or not, because this is where the toxic fandom starts to come in. Those who claim themselves to be true fans, but they don't, they tend to act out a little less than civilized. I'll just say that about their distaste or dislike for something. These people that call themselves real fans, all right, this crosses over into the videos of these Star Wars YouTubers that went to visit Galaxy's Edge. There was one person in particular that went to both Galaxy's Edge, both Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, over in Anaheim and also over in Orlando, which was recently opened. And the biggest complaint was there was little or no references to the original trilogy, other than Chewbacca, other than the Millennium Falcon. There were some things in the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, the chessboard. If you look hard enough, you can see the helmet that Luke wore in A New Hope. The remote that he was training with in A New Hope is in there. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there from the films. As a matter of fact, the actual table in which Han Solo and Lando played sabacc in the movie Solo is in the park. I don't know if it's in the ship or if it's in the park there somewhere. One YouTuber was walking around complaining about the quality of the merchandise there. One person was complaining about how much it cost to get a lightsaber and everything. And I talked about that on Monthly Blaster. And that is a good argument. That is a logical reaction. I mean, if you don't have the money, if you don't have $200 lying around, going to get a lightsaber for $200 is kind of and you got to pay it before you go in. But the video of what happens when you get the lightsaber, it's more than just buying a lightsaber. It's an experience. It's a whole experience. So you're not just paying for a lightsaber, you're paying for it's a whole experience that you experience. And if you go to the video of Monthly Blaster, where it says Galaxy's Edge, what's going on, or something like that, it's a special edition. I had to put the special edition up because I had to fix the audio. In the links below, you will see the video for what happens when you pay that $200. Okay. You're not just buying a lightsaber, you are getting a whole experience. And the lightsaber has has different features, like the kyber crystal, the crystal that powers the lightsaber. There's all different colors that you can purchase that will change the color of the lightsaber to that kyber crystal. You can also take the kyber crystal and put it in the Jedi holocron and the Sith holocron and get messages from either a Jedi or a Sith. It could be Obi-Wan Kenobi, it could be Qui-Gon Jinn, it could be Kylo Ren, it could be Snoke, it could be the Emperor. Whatever, depending upon what crystal you get, you can get a message from them. And it's something really cool that happens when you take the Jedi holocron and the Sith holocron and put it together. It's pretty interesting. But these YouTubers, they go to this place and they complain about it. And they say, oh, this is, it looks like Star Wars, but it doesn't feel like Star Wars. Where are the droids and everything walking? What happened? I already mentioned that in the last episode of Monthly Blaster, that there are no droids walking around. And I think that would kind of put people off. Yeah, because you would figure like, okay, this is Star Wars. Where are the droids? There should be some droids moving around. There should be some R2 units, some BB units, or something like that, and at least maybe like a caretaker, somebody that works at Walt Disney, walking around and monitoring them and everything, making sure that little kids don't kick it and stuff like that, act like fools. What I'm saying? Imagine that. Imagine some hood rat going and says, "Eat the R2D2. I'm gonna kick your ass," and then kick the damn R2 unit and knock it over. Get in the hood and everything. Like, yo, let's beat up C-3PO. That's wrong. That's wrong. Yeah, a bunch of stormtroopers would escort their behinds out the park. So, so these YouTubers, they go to the park, they complain about this, they complain about that. They say that there's nothing from the original trilogy. There's something called the Star Wars Way Station that's located in Disney Hollywood Studios. Yeah, Disney, yes, Disney Hollywood Studios, which is where Galaxy's Edge is located. And the Star Wars Way Station is the one place where you can really experience the original trilogy stuff. You have you still have the Imperial stormtroopers walking around from the Empire. You still have Darth Vader walking around. You still have Boba Fett walking around. You have all the original Star Wars characters over there at the Star Wars Way Station. What people have to realize is that you do not have control over what these people are creating. Okay, I can see how things have changed since George Lucas sold Lucasfilm and Star Wars to Disney. I see the changes. I'm not dumb. I see that things got a little Disney-fied. I understand that. You know, that there's a little bit of, I would say, kind of tension between Rey and Kylo Ren, and people are calling it Reylo. Like there's what people are really scared of is the possibility of Kylo Ren and Rey going the Twilight route. And oh my God, I hate to be the one to spew toxic fandom, but that would be a bad thing. That would be a bad thing. But as you see, if you've seen the trailer to Rise of Skywalker, it doesn't look like it's going to go that route. So I think we were spared that. These same Star Wars YouTubers, you know, who rip up Rian Johnson for making what he made, you know, with The Last Jedi, going to visit Galaxy's Edge, not enjoying it, thinking that, okay, well, it looks like Star Wars, it sounds like Star Wars, but it's not really Star Wars. It doesn't have the heart. What people have to realize is that this is the new trilogy. And I think this is where we split the fandoms up. All right. When we watched the original trilogy when we were younger, those who remember, I'm about to go there, y'all. Here it is. I was 7 years old when the original Star Wars came out. This was a time when there was no cable. Well, I think there was cable, like maybe like if you were rich, I think there was closed circuit TV or something like that. The only time that you could really experience Star Wars if you went to the theater. We had that Star Wars holiday special. That was when we first got introduced to Boba Fett in that little animated section of that holiday special. Boba Fett looked a little different. He was a little bit more blue rather than green. And I saw Star Wars when I was little. So we grew up with the trilogy. The only time when we could get Star Wars again is when we waited until Star Wars came back into the theater. It's not like now where the movie is in the theater for a couple of weeks or a month and then it goes to digital and DVD and all that. Star Wars would be re-released in theaters like 3 or 4 times. Also, Empire Strikes Back. We got excited about Empire Strikes Back. That one time when they re-released Star Wars, and at the bottom of the poster, you saw a sneak preview of the sequel, The Empire Strikes Back, or what the news called Star Wars 2. I saw the trailer for Empire Strikes Back and I clutched my heart because I saw images of Han Solo screaming. Just the whole thing looked dark. And then when they showed Billy D. Williams and the look on his face, you know, and Chewbacca, and R2D2 falling into the hole of a that like that hole in the Millennium Falcon. And you saw a hand covering C-3PO's mouth. Everything looked dismal and dark. What the heck was going on? I was like, yo, these are my heroes. They look like they're getting effed up. So I went to go see Empire Strikes Back with a little bit of fear. And how powerful Empire Strikes Back was. Wow. And it was the first time I think everybody experienced their favorite heroes being defeated. Ass kicked, ass handed to them. Luke found out that Vader was his father, hand cut off. Han Solo gets frozen in carbonite. That one scene that made all the women go, woo! When he said, when Princess Leia said, I love you, and Han Solo was like, I know. The women were going nuts. There was like, woo, yeah, woo. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Lou, what's going on, man? Yeah, Lou is joining me on YouTube. Yes, Lou is also joining me on Facebook. I'm going to get to everybody's comment in a minute. Trust me, I'm going to get to everybody's comment in a minute. And it ended. It ended. Luke got a robot hand. And I was bitter about that. I was like, damn, dude, you lost your hand. Now you got to have a robot hand. Now you like a cyborg now, man. I almost sounded like a dude from the barrio, man. I said, dude, look, Luke got his hand cut off, son. Yo, man, now you got a little robot hand, man. Yo, man, homie. Yo, Luke Skywalker is a cyborg, son. I caught myself. Hey, Vato. Yo, man. Yo, look. Did you see Luke's hand, man? Yo, it's a robot now, man. Yo, that's messed up. Okay, so moving right along, we got Return of the Jedi. Not my favorite of the Star Wars films, but it gave its revelations of, Luke being Vader's son. Leia is his sister. What else? Just a lot of revelations. Han was rescued, and a lot of the heroes won again. And the Emperor, damn him, he built another damn Death Star. So speaking as a fan, all we had were the movies and the theater. And when Star Wars came on television, we had to get Star Wars however we got it. And for a little while, we even had Star Wars in the comics. I don't mean the comic books. I'm talking about in the newspapers. There was a Star Wars comic strip. Yeah, there was a Star Wars comic strip. I'll never forget it. It was only maybe about like 4 or 5 frames, and it made me mad because I wanted to see more. I remember when I went to Washington with my dad. I went on a trip to Washington with my father, and I read Star Wars in the newspaper, and Luke was kind of forced to team up with Boba Fett for some reason. I don't know why, but I remember that they had to work together. I remember when Han Solo was working with this girl, and he had on this special suit that was voice activated, and it had these little blasters on the shoulders, on the arms, on the legs, and it was voice activated. He would say left fire, right, right, and it would fire. He had a blue one on, and the girl had a red one on. I don't know if anybody remembers that. But yeah, we had to get the Star Wars any way we got them. That's the reason why a lot of us grown folks hold on to our Star Wars action figures, because the action figures was what carried us between films. We made up our own adventures. We had to have the action figures. If we didn't have the action figures, we would have been empty. It filled the void between the movies. So then after Return of the Jedi, years later, the abysmal special editions, the one where Greedo shot first. Greedo never shot first. Ladies and gentlemen, Rouge and I went to a 5 and dime store, found, hold on a minute, I'll be right back. Found this. It was 25 cents, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, Star Wars without the damn special edition crap. Yo, Greedo was like, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. And then Han Solo was like, yes, I bet you have. Blam! That's the reason why we love Han Solo so much. And if you ever saw the movie Solo, directed by Ron Howard, when Han was facing off against what was Woody Harrelson's character, but anyway, no, I think it was Tobias Beck. Tobias Beck. Right in the middle of him talking, Han just shot him. Boom. Didn't even let him say another word. It was Ron's way of saying, yo, George Lucas can special edition that thing all he wants. We're going to give the shout out to the fact that Han shot first. Boom. If you haven't seen Solo, please do. So from a fan point of view, we watched all these films. We were weaned on the original trilogy. And then the prequels came. And whoa, did people get upset? We got introduced to Jar Jar Binks. We weren't crazy about Attack of the Clones. The only saving grace, sort of, was the lightsaber battle between Yoda and Count Dooku, which I witnessed it myself. When Yoda pulled out his lightsaber, he used the Force. That bad boy came out of his coat like, and all you heard was Yoda going, ah! And the theater went nuts. You know, those of you that went nuts in the theater, you know you went nuts. Don't start jumping on the prequel hater bandwagon when you know that part was dope. When Yoda went ham on Dooku, all right? There it is. You saw how powerful he was. You know, when Dooku tried to drop that thing on him, Yoda used the Force, was like, vroom, zoom, and tried to drop some rocks on him. He caught it with the Force. Yoda caught it with the Force. Vroom, vroom. You don't tell me you didn't dig it. Don't tell me you didn't dig it. You can hop on the prequel hater bandwagon if you want it, but that was a dope scene. All right. I even made a meme. Remember the bounty hunter Zam Zam? When Anakin and Obi-Wan caught Zam Zam, or was it Zim Zam? I forget. Well, it was I forget the name of the character. Anakin cut her hand off, right? And they were questioning her on who was trying to kill Padme. She said it was a bounty hunter named, and then all you saw was a dart go, a poison dart, and it killed him. And I made a meme. On that. And I had Obi-Wan Kenobi after Zam Zam was shot in the Camino dart before she snitched on Jango Fett. The meme was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Remember, Anakin, snitches get Camino saber darts. Snitches get stitches. Snitches get Camino saber darts right in the neck. So the biggest saving grace of them all was Revenge of the Sith. But everybody hated that part where he was like, no. Everybody hated that part. I didn't completely hate it, but it was, it was what it was. And that's where I come in with the fandom. Here's the fandom. Here's the fandom part. I'm a Star Wars fan. I appreciate every aspect of Star Wars, from the good to the not so good. Like, I didn't really like that, but I could sit through it. I could watch it. I wasn't that good. I'm a fan. Just like if you're a fan of a football team, the losingest football team in the world. I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, give me a football team that loses like all the time. There are still going to be fans of that team. There's still going to be fans of that team. I don't care how much the team loses. You're going to have fans of that team. You're going to have fans wearing the hats and the jackets. Their losing ass team, their fans are still going to love them. All right. Now that could be said of these Star Wars fans that hate everything and always have something nasty to say about, how bad Star Wars has become since Disney got hold of it. I mean, people could say that, but their backup is going to be like, we do it because we love Star Wars. If you truly love Star Wars, you take the good with the bad. All right. You have every right to dislike. Everybody has a right to say what they want to say and dislike and hate whatever they want to hate. But when your hate starts to filter and you start to say, like, you start to take those little things, those things that bothered you, and put them under a microscope and magnify it 1,000,000 times for everybody to see, then you're going to go and have people disliking it. You infected them. People who would otherwise enjoy a movie, they'll listen to you and say, but now if you see this little thing, this didn't make any sense. But why did they do it? You're complaining about all these things and you magnify it, and then pretty soon you infect a person that otherwise really enjoyed it. Here it is, the fandom. Are you really a true Star Wars fan, taking the good with the bad and learning everything about it? I was the type of person that loved watching the Star Wars documentaries, Empire of Dreams, The Making of Star Wars, SFX, The Empire Strikes Back, all the behind the scenes documentaries about Star Wars. And these people are ripping, and these YouTube people are ripping up Galaxy's Edge. I have to question their fandom, because I saw a special called Galaxy's Edge, The Adventures Awaits. And one of the ladies that was involved in putting together Galaxy's Edge, I think she was a story supervisor or a script supervisor, making sure that everything was canon and that the stories are tight and everything is like, nothing's loose and everything works together from the movies to the park. Making sure that all the characters that are walking around in the park know who they are, what's going on, and they're essentially actors living out Star Wars live. It's like almost like theater. Each character has their own story in this park. She said that when Galaxy's Edge was being created, they went back to the Ralph McQuarrie illustrations. And it's really crazy because this one particular YouTuber that I'm thinking about went to art school because of Ralph McQuarrie. And she was one of the, I guess I let it out of the bag. I said she. This particular YouTuber said that it was disappointing, didn't like it, didn't like Galaxy's Edge. But did you know that this Star Wars, this thing that you're such a fan of, this person that you admired so much that made you want to go to college for art, Ralph McQuarrie, that they went back to the Ralph McQuarrie illustrations, and that's how they designed the look of Galaxy's Edge? Did you know that? They went back to old drawings. Now, what are the illustrations? Ralph McQuarrie sat down, apparently, I don't know how it actually happened, but I'm sure he sat down with George Lucas before anything was even filmed. George Lucas was describing things. I don't know if they sat down in the same room and talked, or maybe he gave him a script and he just wrote what was in his mind, just drew what came to Mr. McQuarrie's mind, and drew and drew and drew and drew and drew. Yoda's face is basically based off of of Ralph McQuarrie's own face. He actually did like a sketch of himself, and that face became the face of Yoda. But you didn't know that, did you? All right. Anyway, when I saw The Force Awakens, now for those of you so-called Star Wars fans, all right, who are ripping everything up, all the sequel trilogy, your experience over at Galaxy's Edge, and and people, or maybe you didn't go to Galaxy's Edge, but you're watching these YouTubers going to Galaxy's Edge and crapping all over Galaxy's Edge. One thing I noticed when I saw The Force Awakens, another film that a lot of people complained about, the X-Wings, the Stormtroopers. The X-Wings look way different from the original X-Wings from the original trilogy. Am I correct? If you go to Ralph McQuarrie's, here we go again, Ralph McQuarrie's original illustrations. Ralph McQuarrie drew these illustrations, drew these things before the model makers made them. He drew it, the model makers made it. All right. Of course they had to do some, do some tinkering and everything and some changes and stuff like that. But that's fine. That's what happens. You draw what your vision is, and then the model makers, the special effects people, do what they got to do to make those illustrations come to life. I noticed something about the X-Wing in The Force Awakens. I said, man, that looks a lot like Ralph McQuarrie's original drawing of the X-Wing. I tell you, you so-called Star Wars fans with your YouTube channels, ripping everything up, calling yourself fans. You're not a real fan unless you really go in. Go in, really go in, The original Ralph McQuarrie drawings of the Stormtroopers, the original Ralph McQuarrie drawings of the Stormtroopers depicted that the Stormtroopers also had lightsabers and shields. The Stormtroopers in the original Ralph McQuarrie drawings had lightsabers and shields. The original drawing of Darth Vader looks way scarier than what we got on film. I mean, spooky scary. I look at that picture that Ralph drew and I shudder. I shiver. So if you're going to be a fan all the way. Be a fan all the way. You feel me? So everybody that went, all the YouTubers, all the so-called Star Wars fans, the YouTuber Star Wars fans that went to go visit Galaxy's Edge and said that it was nothing, that, it was basically just a big souvenir shop. And I can see that. Don't get me wrong. I feel you on that. And I was a little taken aback by that too. But did you walk around and breathe everything in? Did you go into the cantina and try the food? I mean, I'm quite sure that it's expensive. Did you really take your time, or did you just rush through trying to see everything all at once? Did you take your time to walk through Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and really feel it? Because I'm gonna tell you something. For every single one of you YouTubers out there that ripped apart Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and ripped apart, you know, the films and rip everything. Maybe you might not like the way the direction went. Maybe you might not like everything, and you don't have to. But don't rain on anybody else's parade. Okay? Just don't. Stop raining on people's parades and telling people, oh, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is a fail. You know, now I don't really know the real reason why the crowds went down. And to be quite honest, the recent videos that I've seen, it looks pretty crowded to me. There's like an hour wait to get on the Millennium Falcon ride. Rise of the Resistance is, I guess, not operational just yet, but it will be. And they're promising more stuff. Do I think they might have rushed it a little bit? Maybe. But there's so many more things that Bob Iger said that he was going to do. I think that with any franchise that's been long running and has been run by one person, George Lucas, all of a sudden being handed over to somebody else, you know, Disney, Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, you know, all these folks. You have to remember that, you know, they're going to do what they're going to do. And as a fan, as a true fan, I take the good with the bad. Out of all the Star Wars films, the two films that I probably would not sit through is probably the Clone Wars animated film and Attack of the Clones. I probably would not sit through those. So not my favorite. I'm not going to crap on them, but they're not my favorite. Okay. That I have reasons, you know, kind of dragged, you know, certain things that I just wasn't that crazy about. Maybe for that one fight between Yoda and Dooku. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. I'll probably, you know, watch that part. But no, nothing. No, I'm sorry. When the Jedi came to rescue Obi-Wan, Padme, and Anakin, that big battle on Geonosis, that's okay. That was cool. That was okay. Okay, all right. The battle between Obi-Wan and Jango Fett. Okay, I like that too. All right. Okay, maybe I'll sit through Attack of the Clones, maybe. Okay, maybe, I guess. So if you're gonna be a fan all the way. All right. In comparison to the original films, and here's another point. You have the childlike mind that we had when we watched the original trilogy. Innocence and ignorance. Okay? Innocence and ignorance. Here we go. Innocence and ignorance. This is the point that I wanted to make. Well, a point I wanted to make. A big point I wanted to make. Ignorance and innocence. Innocence of a child. I'm quite sure a lot of adults saw Star Wars when we were young and they thought it was silly. But we went at it with the innocence of a child. We didn't expect a whole lot. We just were just curious as to what this was. And we went to go see it and we were enthralled. And it became a part of our lives. Ignorance. I'm not talking about the ignorance of like as in racism or gender bias or homophobia. That's ignorance on a dumb level. I mean, hopefully you don't fall to that type of ignorance. I'm talking about ignorance as in like there were some things in the movies that was just a little unbelievable. So when I say ignorance, I'm talking about the suspense of disbelief. To have a mind of a child, eyes of wonder, heart of wonder and stop picking everything apart like people do today. And I don't think that what people said about Galaxy's Edge and today's Star Wars films, when they say it doesn't have heart, I think they lost theirs. I'm going to say it again. Oh, it doesn't have the heart of Star Wars. It's like, no, you lost yours. But it really, really sucks. I mean, when they did this with the midichlorians and then and then they have all these females, and Rey is a Mary Sue, and dude, Luke trained with Obi-Wan for maybe like a half a day, blew up the Death Star, used the Force and blew up the Death Star. Something that could be that was mathematically impossible by the plan standards. An air shaft that's only 2 meters wide, thanks to Jyn Erso's father. Rogue One, one of my favorites. I love that movie, Rogue One. They're making that into a miniseries too, by the way. Diego Luna is reprising his role as a Captain Cassian Andor, and Adam Tudyk, he is revising his voice acting for K2SO. Y'all know how I feel about K2SO. I love K2SO. I love them maybe like inches more than R2 and 3PO put together. I love K2SO. So these so-called Star Wars fans, they have their opinions. God bless them. They're entitled to it. But I think that when they say that Galaxy's Edge didn't have the heart, doesn't have Star Wars, the heart of Star Wars, that the new movies do not have the heart of Star Wars, I think that somewhere along the way, I think they lost theirs. Trust me, I see the changes. I understand the changes. I understand certain things that they did that I didn't dig, but they were still Star Wars films to me. All of them. Every single last one of them. Okay. I think we've grown. I think somewhere along the way, we lost that innocence. I think somewhere along the way, we lost the ignorance, the good ignorance. I'm talking about the good one, the suspension of disbelief. You know how they say ignorance is bliss? The ignorance, the suspense of disbelief, which is an ignorance that I don't mind, because it opens your mind up to childlike wonder and fun. And I think some of these YouTubers, number one, these YouTubers are younger than me. So they were not around with the original Star Wars. I think a lot of these YouTubers are very narrow-minded. I think that they dislike stuff because it's popular to dislike and to tear things down that's popular so they can get views. Listen, I enjoy the YouTubers, okay? There's a bunch of YouTubers that I watch. I'll still watch them, whether they're talking out their behinds or not. There are a bunch of YouTubers that I enjoy watching quite a bit, even though I emphatically disagree with what they say, but they're entertaining to watch, and they basically give good information. But it's just that when they start spewing out the hate and everything, I guess it's fun or funny to rag on the empire of Disney, of Star Wars, of Lucasfilm and everything. And then they call themselves true fans. It sounds to me like these people are not going to be happy no matter what they do. All we can hope for is when Star Wars goes to Disney Plus, and The Mandalorian looks fabulous. It looks really fantastic. Jon Favreau, a man who I think can do no wrong. I mean, directed the first Iron Man film, very, very involved in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Kevin Feige, I believe is going to be involved in some Star Wars films coming up. If Kevin Feige can do what he does with Marvel, I'm sure that he can turn Star Wars around, I guess, and maybe bring back to the familiarity of what we were all used to. Okay. I enjoyed the Star Wars films. I enjoyed all of them. Like I said, I wasn't crazy about Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones. I guess I'm kind of like on the fence because there were some cool things about it. And I enjoyed The Last Jedi, even though there were some things that I wish that they didn't do. All right. But if you're a fan, you're a fan, you're a fan. And that's all it is to it. Back to the Stormtroopers, the Ralph McQuarrie drawings. They had shields and had lightsabers. Lo and behold, if you saw Star Wars The Force Awakens, that Stormtrooper that fought Finn had a shield and had a melee weapon. Ralph McQuarrie. They went back to the Ralph McQuarrie drawings. They went back to the beginning, to what it was, and it looked great, So there it is, and if you think about it, if you look at Kylo Ren's mask, and look at the original drawing of Darth Vader, there are some similarities. Some. Check it out. So that's it. I've been on for almost an hour, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to let everybody know, also. That the new episode of, well, not the new episode, the special edition of Mace Man, the Cosplay Crusader, or what I like to call the Con Prep series. I re-released them as special editions because the sound was messed up when I first released them. You only heard sound in one ear. I fixed the sound and I put a documentary at the end of each episode. So if you go to my YouTube channel, go check it out. I give people insight of my experiences as a cosplayer, where Mace Man came from, my experiences with Mace Man, and the future of Mace Man. And some of you might find your names in the credits at the end of the last episode. All right. And you know what? I'm going to get to, let's, you know what? I'll get to the comments in just a minute. I'm going to get to the comments, I promise. But I need to let everybody know something. First of all, let me check the comments on YouTube. Hey, Richard Burgos. I'm so sorry. Richard Burgos. Richard Burgos was watching me on YouTube. I am so sorry. I got to switch back and forth, y'all. I tell you, Richard Burgos, somebody please tell Richard Burgos that I did read his comment. Okay. And thank you, Richard, for joining me. About what's going on with the X Zone. Like I said earlier, I'm working on my health. I'm in the South. There's a lot of things to eat, and I gained a lot of weight. I have a job where I sit on my butt a lot, and I'm doing the gym like every day. As a matter of fact, when I get off of here, I'm back on the treadmill for about like 45 minutes. So yeah, your boy is taking care. So in that, the shows may be few and far between, and if I do a show, it's going to be kind of short because I'm also working on some other things. I'm working on some things for hopefully these folks will like it. I'm working on 2 projects, and there's another project that involves writing, and I want to concentrate on that. I want to try to see if I can get those things done before October is over, because when the holidays come, I just want to just relax. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure if I'm going to do another monthly blaster this month. I'm not sure if I'm going to do an episode of X XONE Micro. I probably will do it because I want to review a comic book. A friend of mine sent me a comic book, Mr. Michael Armstrong, who's instrumental in working with the Body Jumpers comic books. He was nice enough to send me a comic book. I read it. It's fantastic. And I'm going to do a review on it for sure. Absolutely. I'm going to do it. And if you just happen to be a comic book artist and you don't mind sending your boy a book, trust me, I will review it. I will read it and I will review it for sure on the X Zone. So as far as upcoming shows that I will be doing a reaction video to the latest episode of Superpowers Beatdown with the Flashpoint Batman versus Killmonger. It looks awesome. I'm also going to be doing a trailer reaction to the they actually did a real trailer this time. I got so played with those teaser trailers of Birds of Prey. I'm not really feeling how it looks anyway, but I'm gonna I'm kind of mad that all the villains are getting such love. Now, which brings me to this. I will be checking out the Joker. I might check it out maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. I don't know, but I will do a review on that. So the shows that you can guaranteed see that I will be doing an episode of trailer reaction. I will be watching the Birds of Prey trailer. I still didn't watch it yet. I will be doing a reaction to the Superpowers Beatdown episode of Flashpoint Batman versus Killmonger. And I will also be doing a review of the Joker. I'll definitely be doing that. If I do an episode of Monthly Blast, it's going to be very short. If I do an episode of the X XONE Micro, I'm going to review Michael Armstrong's book, The Rise of the Dragon. Okay, The Rise of the Dragon. That's a comic book that he sent me. Okay, so those are the shows that you can look forward to seeing because they're short, they're easy to do, because I have 2 projects that I'm working on that I need to take care of. Actually 3 if you include my body and my health. So with that being said, I'm going to go through the comments now. I'm going through the comments. Let's go to the comments. Let's see. Okay, Daryl Taylor. Now, for those of you that are watching me on YouTube, I'm looking at the comments on Facebook. Daryl Taylor says, "Hey, when you get a chance, please go see the Joker." Yes, I will be doing that. Rouge Rose said, "Yikes." Jelmari Smith came in and went. Rouge Rose laughed at something that I said that was funny. Edward Threet was in the house. Kenneth Powell was in the house. Daryl said, "I still think they should have made Finn the new Jedi in The Force Awakens." Yeah, maybe that would have worked. Derek Golden, old friend of mine, showed up, said, "Hey, what up, brother Harold?" That's his usual greeting. He never says anything else, really. Lou Falzone says, "Hey, brother, how are you?" I'm doing well, as you can see. Rouge Rose says, "Let's face facts. No way you can please everyone. People will complain about money, merchandise, or the theme park." Yeah, absolutely. Lou Falzone saying, "Hey, boss," and Rouge Rose says, "Hey, Lou," and Lou is saying, "Hey, Rose." They're old friends from way back. Cassie Fall Bumbry came in. Oh, you're Bumbry now. When did you get married? Congratulations. Charles Sherrod Jr., creator of The Ghost. Yes, Charles Sherrod. Yeah, too many Chiefs picking apart Star Wars. Absolutely. Jean-Paul Germain, artist. Jean-Paul Germain. He did the cover of my comic book, the Body Jumpers comic book, Sins of the Past. And Rouge Rose says, "I have to admit, I've watched some Star Wars fan films on YouTube, and they're pretty phenomenal." Yes, they are. If you haven't seen Vader Shards of the Past by Star Wars Theory, please do see that. There was another Star Wars fan film called, I think it's called The Apprentice. It was a Darth Maul film through and through. Darth Maul got love in that one, boy. And we have Bilal Watson joined, and I guess he's not there anymore. Rouge Rose said, "I enjoyed the Attack of the Clones," when she commented on on the live on YouTube. Richard Burgos says, I loved it. Amen, amen, brother, preached. I unfortunately not sure exactly what he was saying amen, amen, brother, too. But I like this angle. I just looked at myself. I like this angle. Check this out. I like that. See the original Space Invaders. Check it out. I got the sound down because I didn't want it to like have it like pop on. But yeah, this is the original Taito Space Invaders, and you can find this on the Atari Flashback. Okay, the Atari Flashback has Space Invaders, but it doesn't have the Atari 2600 version. I guess Taito was like, "Yo, if you're gonna put our game on your Atari Flashback, yo, just we'll just give you the real deal." But yeah, so yeah, this is the Atari Space Invaders. No, it's not the Atari Space. It's made by. Let's turn the sound up. Old school gaming, y'all. Okay, can we pause? Anyway, let's. But anyway, I love the old games. I love the old games. But yes, so that's it for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me on this live simulcast on Facebook and also on YouTube. Please do me a favor. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay, if you haven't. HB Gibson's The X Zone, and you will see more stuff, okay? So please do check out my special editions of the Mace Man videos, the pre-con prep videos. All right, there are 4 chapters. There are 4 parts, and at the end, I do a documentary called Mace Man, the Cosplay Crusader, the Do-It-Yourself Hero, where I talk about, where I got Mace Man from and what I'm hoping to do and my experiences as a cosplayer and the like. Okay. So I just uploaded the final episode today. Please do check it out on the channel. Okay. I love y'all to life. I've been on for an hour. Okay. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. I hope that I didn't chew people's ears off. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I tried to stay on point. I just have that brain. It's that 49-year-old Aries brain that's just going in a million directions at once. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this and it's not live, thank you for sitting through an hour and 8 minutes so far. Yeah, an hour and 8 minutes so far. Okay. Love y'all to life. You just been in a dimension of random geekiness. I'm HB Gibson. See you next time.